What if the best parts of Maui aren't where everyone else is headed? In this episode, you'll discover 20 unique things to do on Maui beyond the usual stops like Haleakalā and Hana that most travelers never even hear about. We'll talk about the planning habit that keeps most people stuck on the same path and how changing it can open up a side of Maui you didn't know existed. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping travelers plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with insider tips and featuring local voices. I'm Brian Murphy, a husband, dad of 3, and certified Hawaii destination expert. Each week, I share local insights, travel tips, and up-to-date news, sometimes with guests across Hawaii and sometimes solo, all to help you plan your next trip to Hawaii. Aloha and welcome back to Hawaii's Best, your guide to the best of Hawaii. Today, we're talking about 20 unique things to do on Maui that you won't find in most guidebooks, and we're completely skipping the road to Hana and Haleakalā because, frankly, everyone knows about them, and a lot of people, I think it's like 80% of people who visit Maui do one of those two adventures. If you do want to learn more about Road to Hana, I'll link my episode below about whether you should do Road to Hana on your own or with a trusted guide. You can go ahead and listen to that after this episode. Most people planning a trip to Maui usually stick to the same 2 or 3 attractions, which means they're missing out on a lot of the island's real character and history. And by the end of this episode, you'll know if you're making the common mistake of following the same tourist trail as everyone else. And if you are, it's okay. This episode is all about discovering Maui's hidden gems, the cultural spots, natural wonders, and local experiences that most people miss. And actually save the last thing on this list, probably one of the most unique things to do when on Maui. And it's a little bit of a callback to last week's episode if you listen about traveling on boats between the islands in Hawaii. All right, so let's talk about how you can connect with Maui's culture and community, because this is really where you get to understand the true vibe and feel of the island. Number 1 is probably one of my favorites. It's Maui Culture Lands. And they run a volunteer program where you can spend the morning, I think it's usually on a Saturday, helping restore ancient Hawaiian lands. It's within the valley, the Honokaʻi Valley. It's on the west side of the island. And you get to work alongside locals, learn about native plants, remove invasive species, and see how important land stewardship really is in Hawaiian culture. It's a hands-on, meaningful, yes, you'll work, but you also get to understand the island's roots in a way that most visitors never do. I actually had Ikolo Lindsay from Maui Culture Lands on a podcast a couple of years ago when we visited them, and I'll be sure to link that in the show notes below this episode for you to listen to. All right, number 2, if you want to understand Maui's history, the Bailey House Museum in Wailuku is definitely your spot. They have thousands of Hawaiian artifacts, historic photos, and documents that tell the real story of how Maui changed over time. It's not a flashy museum, but if you want context for everything else you'll see, this is a great place to start. Now, number 3, if you're thinking about doing a luau, and let's be honest, a lot of people are when visiting Hawaii, the old Lahaina luau, which has recently reopened in the last couple months, is the one that locals actually love and respect and go to. The focus is on traditional Hawaiian food, music, and hula. The performers and staff are committed to sharing real Hawaiian culture and not just putting on a show for visitors. Plus, it's right there on the ocean in beautiful Lahaina. Side note, if you do visit Lahaina, some places are open. I just want to keep saying this. Anytime Lahaina kind of comes up in conversation, please be respectful of what locations are open. It's very obvious what is open and what is not. So please, out of respect of those who call Lahaina home, please be mindful of that. Number 4, the Maui swap meet. A lot of great things happen at a swap meet. If you've been to the swap meet on Oahu, you know what I'm talking about. And the Maui swap meet happens every Saturday in Kahului. This is where you meet actual Maui residents, and you'll find local produce, handmade crafts, and food stands, everything that you would think you would find at a great swap meet. But it's in Maui, so it's going to be even better. It's really the kind of place where you can pick up something you won't find in any hotel gift shop, and you get to have real conversations with people who live on Maui. All right, now let's head upcountry because this is where Maui gets really cool and interesting. Number 5, historic Makawao town is Maui's cowboy town. And yes, the Paniolo culture is still very much alive here in this spot. And you'll get to see art galleries, local shops, and honestly, you might see a horse or two tied up outside, which is kind of cool. It's a completely different side of Maui that has nothing to do with beaches. Number 6, Haleakalā Lavender Farm sits on the slopes of Haleakalā, where the air is cooler and the views stretch across the entire island. You get a walk through rows of lavender, try lavender scones that are actually really good, and shop for products made right there. It's a nice, peaceful spot in upcountry Maui. Number 7, Surfing Goat Dairy. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a working farm where you can tour the dairy, feed goats, and sample cheese that has won numerous national awards. And if you're traveling with kids, they're definitely going to love it. This is a family-friendly spot. A lot of these are that I'm talking about today. But if you're not traveling with kids, you'll still love it here. And the cheese is incredible. Number 8, Maui Wine and the Ulupalakua Ranch store are next door to each other, which is very much convenient. The Maui Wine is the island's only winery, and their pineapple wine is something that you can't get anywhere else, so definitely recommend trying that. And the ranch store serves local beef burgers and snacks. Both are set in open country and views of the southern coast. Number 9, Ocean Vodka Organic Farm and Distillery. They grow their own sugarcane and they use deep ocean mineral water in their spirits. The tours walk you through the entire process from field to bottle, and the tasting room has views of both Haleakalā and the ocean, so you're literally drinking with some of the best views in the world. Number 10, another one of our favorites, is Maui Tropical Plantation in central Maui. It's a working farm with tram tours, tropical crops. You see how pineapples, bananas, and other crops are actually grown. There are also places to eat and shop for local products while you're there. And it's educational without being boring. And I think they still have a zip line there that's pretty legit. I just want to pop in here and say if you found any value in listening to Hawaii's Best is to simply follow the podcast on the app you're using right now. If you're on Apple Podcasts, just tap that little follow button in the top right corner. It's that easy, and doing so helps more people like you who love Hawaii find the show. And now back to the episode. Number 11, the Maui Pineapple Tour in Haleakalā takes you through a working pineapple plantation, and you can see how pineapples are grown, harvested, and packed. The tour ends with tasting of fresh pineapple, of course, and it's simple, but there's something satisfying about seeing the whole process, which is kind of cool. What all these places that I just listed, they have in common is that they show you a side of Maui that's easy to miss if you only stick to the coast. They're hands-on, they're real, and they give you a chance to learn about and sense what life is like on Maui. All right, so now let's talk about Maui's natural wonders and the outdoor experiences. Number 12, Kealia Pond Natural Wildlife Refuge is one of the best places on Maui to see native birds up close. The boardwalk runs along the coast and it gives you clear views of endangered Hawaiian stilts and coots. And the main trails are flat and easy to walk. It's a good spot for bird watching, photography, or just taking a break from crowded tourist areas. Number 13, Iao Valley State Park is famous for the Iao Needle, and it's this tall, narrow ridge covered in greenery. You probably have seen some pictures of it, but the park is important in Hawaiian history, and it's easy to reach from Wailuku. There are short trails and plenty of places to take in the scenery. You do need reservations, so be sure to plan ahead for that. Number 14, Nakalele Blowhole on the island's northwest coast. This is also where the famous heart-shaped rock used to be. I say used to be, it's now has been destroyed. It is now a broken heart. It's just half of the heart. What created the heart-shaped rock is from years of erosion, and that is also what is said to have led to its destruction. The blowhole is still there and incredible. It's a natural ocean geyser that shoots water up high in the air, but just please remember that the area is rocky and can be slippery, so wear good shoes and keep your distance from the blowhole itself. Number 15, Ho'okipa Beach Park is famous for two things: world-class windsurfing and sea turtles resting on the sand. The waves are super strong, so just don't think about it. It's for mostly experienced surfers, but anyone can watch from the overlook or walk on the beach in late afternoon to spot sea turtles by keeping your distance as well. All right, number 16, Kapalua Bay is a small protected cove with calm water. It's one of the top spots for snorkeling and often has sea turtles swimming close to shore as well. The beach is easy to access and it does have basic facilities, which is great. Number 17, Olowalu Turtle Reef is a shallow reef just off of Olowalu Beach, and it's known for clear water and a high chance of seeing green sea turtles while snorkeling. The reef is close to shore, so you don't need a boat to enjoy it. All right, moving right along. Number 18, we're almost there. Makena Beach, also called Big Beach, is one of Maui's largest and most scenic stretches of land. The waves can be strong, so swimming here isn't always safe, but the views are impressive. Little Beach just over the hill is smaller, and just be aware that clothing is optional there, so you might want to just stay on the Big Beach side. But Big Beach is a great spot to enjoy and have that typical beach day. Number 19, Makena Cove, sometimes called Secret Beach, is a small hidden spot surrounded by lava rocks and palm trees. It's popular for photos and sunsets especially. The entrance is easy to miss, but the beach is worth finding if you want something a little bit more quieter and mellow. That is just south of Makena Beach. All right, and number 20, one of the most unique things that you can do while on Maui is island hopping to Lanai by taking a ferry. This is really the only ferry in all of Hawaii that you can take to another island. It's a way to see a completely different side of Hawaii. The ferry runs from Maui to Lanai daily, so once you arrive, you can visit quiet beaches, explore Lanai City, and check out landscapes that are nothing like anywhere else on Maui or in Hawaii. It's a full day trip and it gives you a break from the usual crowds. So visiting Lanai is definitely one of the best things that you can do while visiting Maui. That wraps up our look at 20 unique things to do on Maui, all beyond the usual stops like Haleakalā and the road to Hana. So today we covered local volunteer opportunities, historic sites, upcountry farms, hidden beaches, and some of the best spots to see Maui's wildlife. So really the goal was to show you that Maui's real character is found in its people, its food, its small towns, and the places most visitors never see. If you're planning a trip, try swapping out just one or two of the usual attractions for something maybe from this list, and you'll get a more genuine experience and probably come home with some better stories as well. Thanks for listening to this episode and finding time with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit follow on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this podcast on. And until next time, my friend, as always, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app. Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.